Our first review of the year 2024 is going to be for the film Night Swim. Night Swim is a movie starring Wyatt Russell, Kerry Coden. Um, Basic haunted possession, you know, horror movie that you have here. Usually, you get these kind of basic Blumhouse horror movies in January. They did it last year with Megan. Simple setup here. We've seen a lot of things before. We've seen haunted houses before. We've seen haunted dolls before. Uh, I don't think I've ever seen a haunted swimming pool before. Have you? This is my first time.
No, the weirdest of these sort of possessed or eating creatures is an old 1970s movie called Deathbed, the Bed That Eats.
Hmm, interesting. So yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a haunted swimming pool movie before. So I guess it gets points for that. For having that kind of going for it. And it's your typical setup here. Family moves into a new home. The new home has a dark past, something that happened that is, causing the swimming pool to act up. And did you ever have a swimming pool when you were a kid?
No, I never had one immediately in my backyard, but we had a community pool.
Okay. So yeah, you see that this swimming pool, there's something funny about it. It's like starts to have these strange type properties. The family that's swimming in the pool, they start seeing things. Some weird creature that's in there. It's like, what is it? And if you kind of seen any haunted movie before about something that's been haunted or possessed, then yeah, you've seen Night Swim before. This ain't really breaking the wheel here.
No.
And then the same even setup with, of course, there's always going to be a family that moves into the house, and then they sell them on the realtor sells them on the house, but then the history gets revealed, and then the person who's discovering all this wisdom, they have to track it down, like the origins of the pool, the exact nature of like how it really even works and how it even really functions is, I don't know. I think it's just kind of, it does whatever it wants to do at any
Yeah,
moment.
it's pretty
Uh,
dumb.
it's like the way that it kinda can follow you, or, the water can kinda just do things. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
it just kinda does whatever it wants. Um, I'm gonna pass it to you, get your thoughts on it,
Mm,
but I don't think there's a whole lot to really say
nah.
about this movie. What are some of your thoughts on Night Swim?
Uh, yeah, this is based on a YouTube short that came back out a while ago. It's about 3 or 4 minutes. Honestly, go check that out. You probably get as much out of that short as you will out of this full movie, even with all the extra things added to it. It really doesn't improve it. If anything, it takes away from it. It's from the people who did Lights Out, which, if you haven't seen that short, that's a really good YouTube horror short that was also made into a movie that unfortunately wasn't as good as the short. I think with premises like these, and it's hard to make a story around a really interesting or an idea like this. It's one of those things that works better as just a concept, an idea, or short, and then just leaves it at that. Because when you really start getting into the nitty gritty of what the heck's going on, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the scares here for a movie called Night Swim, not a lot of time takes place at night.
Mm, yeah. I mean, I guess that's where it does most of it. So maybe that's where the monster really comes out. Maybe most of the time is
Uh huh.
sometimes at night.
Sure.
It makes sense that,
Well, that's a horror movie right there. Sometimes at night.
yeah, sometimes at night. It makes sense, it's funny you say it's a YouTube short.
Mhm.
It's like, yeah, maybe as a concept you see for like 10 minutes,
Yeah.
you know, 5 minutes, something like that. Like, okay, get in and out. Even as a YouTuber, I'd be interested to see the YouTube short because I think even as a YouTube short, I'd be like, okay, this ain't really much. I
Nah,
mean,
I mean, it's like 2 minutes of her in the pool, and then with stuff in the background, and then the last minute, and then jump scare.
yeah.
Honestly,
Which
Lights Out did better to set environment where, like, the stuff with the water and little moments like that could have worked. And Wyatt Russell just does some weird performances in this movie.
uh
Weird, interesting performances.
Yeah. And Wyatt Russell, so he's the patriarch of the family. He's the dad of the family. He has an illness. He has MS.
Yeah.
He was a former star,
Baseball.
all-star baseball player, played third base, and this has kind of been a huge damage on his life and his family, and with all that is so it kind of introduces you to that right away, which is kind of interesting. Maybe if you lean more into the family stuff and try to build up a lot of the relationship with the
Mhm.
family, and kind of made us care a little bit more. But I understand that you would kind of want to get in because this movie's only an hour and like 30 something minutes, and this kind of like I don't know, I mean, trying to make a swimming pool scary is like
Right.
I don't think it's like I don't think it does that effective of a job, and that's kinda hard to do of, like,
Yeah.
making a swimming pool just a swimming pool scary. Like, a house, it's like, okay, a lot of different things in the house, and you're sleeping there, you're living there, but a swimming pool is like, okay, and then so it has to do other things because at first, you see these people, they jump in the pool, then starts stuff kinda getting weird, like I said, they see things, and a lot of it is basic jump scares. It's like, ooh, something you see something, then don't see something, and then something comes up, and it's basic kind of jump scares, type stuff. So there's that. So at a certain point, you have to like
Mhm.
have it where where something the water does something else that makes them go back in the water or makes them do other things at first because 'cause they're, like, freaked out to even go back in the water, really.
Right.
So, they have to extend the swimming pool's powers of what it can do, and, like, the logic that it adheres to in this movie doesn't really make a lot of sense of, like, why can it do all this stuff or do different things. Um, yeah, so ultimately, it's just forgettable. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it is. I mean, this came at the beginning of the year. When we do our end of year list, it's like I won't probably even remember it enough to put it
No.
on the worst of list. They're coming out. So yeah, I mean, the family's plain. It's like okay, your typical family. Not really interesting about them too much. Like you said, Wyatt Russell. I mean, I've seen him in other things. He's fine. I guess here, uh, kids are fine. It's just like I said, any haunted movie, possession type thing you've seen, haunted type horror movie, you've seen this and seen it done better in many other places. I don't think it's good for even some good scares in here because you
Mhm.
can see the scares coming a mile away of what they're gonna do with that. So ultimately, I'll just give it a skip it, tune out for me. What about you?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This is a skip it. I've seen this movie done better a, a hundredfold, from Amityville Horror to a number of other possession movies. There's nothing yet that you haven't seen before. I mean, it's novel. I'll give them that, but something being novel only gets you so far.
Yeah. I mean, where's Aquaman when you need him?
I
You know?
know. Where is he? Oh, he
Yeah.
can't go in chlorine.
Yeah. Well, actually, this would probably be more of a case for Constantine anyway. This would probably be
Oh,
more of a Constantine thing.
yeah, maybe.
Uh, like I'd give that movie extra points. Constantine just shows up drunk with
Oh
his
yeah,
trench coat,
Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves just shows up.
and like he shows up there. Yeah.
Unless
So
this
yeah.
pool.
So you give it a skip it too. You say?
Yeah, I'd give it skip it.
Yeah. So nah, I don't think there's really much to say about this
Yeah,
movie. Yeah. I mean, yeah, pretty just kind of it came, it went, it it's
it
gone.
swam.
Yeah, it swam. Yeah. So two
Uh,
skip it's. Oh yeah.
yeah. No, no, go ahead. Finish up.
No, I was gonna say just 2 skip it for, Night Swim.